My name is Cassie and I'm the founder of Fatco, where we use these guys to make this stuff. Let me explain. At Fatco, we specialize in making natural and organic skin and body care products, many of which contain tallow. It's nutrient dense and healing. It's extremely high in vitamins A, D, K, and E, all super important for skin health. It's natural, it's healthy, and it's sustainable.
The fact that people are saying, oh yeah, when you're finals MVP, you are now the best player on the planet, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't care if it's a week, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? LeBron James. That's who y'all gotta start appreciating. And you gotta stop disrespecting this man.
If I can grow up and have LeBron be my father, I'd be so happy, bro. Telling you out. One day, Jay McLovin, I'm referring to you, LeBron will be gone out of the league, and you haters will miss him. I'm telling y'all, the anti-LeBron club will miss him when he leaves. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Prideful Takes podcast. It's the ugliest motherfucker on the internet, Pride. I'm chopping it up with my boy, Jay McLovin. Jay, how you feeling today, my guy?
I'm good. I got a fresh haircut. My beard is back in alignment, so I feel like a new man. The wife agreed that she would go on a date with me only if I stopped looking like Sasquatch and looked like a human being. So here I am, looking like a human being, and it was a first date, and it felt good in a long time to go out with her.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to have some fun. I could have gotten my hair braided today, but because of our bet, I am waiting. So I guess me having a braid lasted all but 4 days. So it was a nice 4 days. It was a fun 4 days. But it was a 4 days that shall be forgotten. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very packed show for you guys. Boston's down 3-2. Can they come back? I will tell you why they can. Bradley Beal has finally wanted out of the Washington Wizards. Jay McLovin, I'm going to ask you whether or not the Wizards have any hope of retaining him back. Deshaun Watson, after, I don't know, a badonk zillion years, it's been about since March 25th, I think it was.
Right.
He hasn't spoken. He's finally came out and spoken to the media to give his side of the entire allegations. But first and foremost, Bruce Smith woke up and chose violence, questioning Tony Baselli's right to be a Hall of Famer. Obviously, we all know Bruce Smith, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest defensive players in the history of the game. I don't think there's a debate, and if you disagree, drugs are good. Jay McLovin, let me ask you something. Baselli played from 95 to 01, and in his final season only played 3 games. Do you think that Bruce Smith has somewhat of a point? Because he is saying that, hey, yo, you guys are basically calling him a Hall of Famer after one good game he had against me. Do you agree with him? Do you think his argument has some validity, or is this just a dude just having sour grapes?
You know, I think Bruce Smith has some validity to what he's saying. I mean, honestly, when we look at the biggest game of Baselli's career, it was against Bruce Smith. At the flip of a coin, you can say, he did have he was fairly productive in the short time span that he played. But at the same time, length of service compared to what he's done, I don't think his resume, given him the short term, I don't think it quite quantifies to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think it's just long enough, and I don't think he's done enough to quite get there. And, I think to base it off of, like you said, one really spectacular game against Bruce Smith, to me, it's a little bit shallow, and it just lacks a lot of weight, what you would like to see going in.
It's crazy how the one great game he had was in 96, which basically was his second year in the NFL.
Right.
He played after that. And it seems like no one really takes that into account. And I don't think anybody really cares to take that into account. I've always said this. When it comes to offensive linemen, that is by far one of the hardest positions to be able to get into the Hall of Fame, because they don't have a lot of stats. And frankly, a lot of times they're forgotten. They're the guys who go down into the dirty, and then they get all the stuff done. More times than not, we give the credit to what the offensive lineman did. We give that credit to the running back. When the Colts, again, Jonathan Taylor, he's a stud. That offensive line helped him. Derrick Henry's a stud, but that Tennessee Titans line definitely helped him. Same thing with Le'Veon Bell, that Pittsburgh. And by the way, Yuki, I see your comment. We're going to talk about that Minkah Fitzpatrick extension real quick before we hop into the rest of the stuff. But Le'Veon Bell with Pittsburgh, that line helped him. And the thing is, we don't really give the offensive lineman that much credit, right? And so for me, it's like, and this is just me. If you're going to have a short career, you better be super duper explosive your entire tenure. Point blank, period. Like me personally, Megatron, the only knock I have on Megatron is how long he played. That's it. In terms of everything else, dude, like he's legit. But because he was so explosive in that short time, you can get him into the Hall. I don't care what position you're playing. Imagine if a guy played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Let's say a guy played 7 years. Let's say a quarterback played 7 years. Tim Tebow. Let's say to get Tim Tebow into the Hall of Fame, we bring up that playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers when he had Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, when he hit him with a dot, and boom, gone. So that's kind of my whole thing. If you need to pinpoint one game, if you can say, oh yeah, he had this great game, but also he did this, also he did that, also he did this, also he did that. We have a little bit of a thing. AP says you don't think O-line is the hardest to get in. 110%. Offensive lineman, not only is the hardest to judge, but the absolute hardest to get into the Hall of Fame. Because like I said, like in the beginning of my whole little spiel, there's really no stat you can really kind of look like it's a little awkward. And two, when they have success, more times than not, people give the credit to the running back. More times than not. I don't think it's fair, but unfortunately, it's the reality that we live in. That's the unfortunate reality of it. So I think Bruce Smith has a legitimate argument. I think he has a legitimate gripe. The problem with it is that because that game just so happened to be against Bruce Smith and he's the one speaking out, instead of actually listening to what he's saying, people are going to say, oh, you're just being a crybaby. And I think that's the uphill battle Bruce Smith is going to have to fight if he wants to continue to speak out about this.
You have to remember too, he played 90 out of 91 games in the 7-year span in the league. And out of that 90 games that he played, 45, which is 50% of the time, he was getting penalties. He got for a total career 45 penalties, but he played only 90 games. So you figure that's half of his time. So again, and if you look at what he did, he got what? 1 Pro Bowl, 1 All-Pro, and that's it. That's it for him. Now he was a league leader, I think, 4 or 5 years in a row. But again, it's such a short time span, 90 games, and that's really all you have to show for it. I mean, that's not a whole hell of a lot.
It's very confusing. Very confusing. But Yuki believes safety is the hardest to get into the Hall of Fame. I don't think so. I think offensive lineman.
I would say offensive line.
David Hernandez says you got to be like Roberto Garcia. That man was a monster for the Bears offensive line. My thing is, look, if you're only going to play for 5 years, 6 years, you need to be the best, point blank, period. I can't have you in the league for a minimal amount of time and you not be dominating.
Yeah.
I can't have that. Because now when you're talking about, oh, yeah, the Hall of Fame, it's not going to work. Real quick, he goes, do you think Eli Manning deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Me personally, no. I think he's an at best average quarterback, but this is what's going to get him in the Hall of Fame. The 2 Super Bowl rings, and more specifically, who he beat.
Yeah.
He beat an undefeated Patriots, and then in the rematch, still handle his business.
Yeah.
If he gets those rings against any other team, no one's calling him a Hall of Famer. But it's because
it's almost like a team Hall of Fame effort, honestly.
Exactly. But because he's and here's the thing, because Eli Manning is not even as good as Tony Romo, and Tony Romo is not a Hall of Famer. So if Tony Romo is not a Hall of Famer and he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know? But Eli's going to get in there because of the rings and who he beat. So that's kind of why he's going to get in there. Jay, Minkah Fitzpatrick. He got the Steelers. Believe it or not, a lot of fans were a little upset about the contract extension he got. It makes him the highest paid safety in the NFL history. A 4-year, $73.6 million contract. No, that's the old one.
Yeah.
No, that's the old one. Yeah, I lied. So it's going to be a 5-year extension. Yeah, so it's a 5-year contract that includes a 4-year extension. And he's got $36 million guaranteed at signing. And he's going to get paid over $18 million per year. I wish I was good at football. $1 million question. Do you think Minkah Fitzpatrick deserved that massive contract, or do you think he's not really going to do it? Or you think they kind of reached a little bit here?
Yeah, because I believe this should be the end of his rookie deal, right? I think he's got 5 years in, 3, 4, 5. So I guess that was a 5th year option. So am I right? Is this his first contract since his rookie contract?
I want to say yes, but I'm going to fact check.
Because he's only been in the league 5 years, so I'm thinking it's got to be the first one after the rookie.
Yes,
but when you look at it, I mean, he's got a pretty damn good resume. In the time that he's been in, 352 combination tackles, 113 assisted. He doesn't have any sacks, which I usually like to see at least a couple of sacks for his safety. But he does have 13 picks, and there was only 1 year, 2019, where he didn't record an interception. So, again, we're in the time of high-priced contracts these days, guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to understand, man, the value of the average base salary and what players look like and what they're doing. I mean, what Minkah Fitzpatrick, along with TJ Watt means to that defense. And let's be honest, they don't have a really good, solidified quarterback yet. So defense is really what kind of keeps them in the game. So they're and Minkah is a part of that, a really significant part of that defense. So yep. Yeah, I mean, that's like saying, well, does Lamar Jackson, he's slated to probably be the highest paid guy in the NFL at this point if he holds out long enough. Do we think that he deserves the money more than Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or any of the other quarterbacks that are out there? Probably not. But that's just where we are in the world of football. It's just that's just the inflation side of it. So, but I do think for what he brings to that Steelers defense, that I think he's worth the money because there's really not a safety out there that's going to be better than him that's available.
I just want to hone in on one thing you said, because you said that you would prefer him to have a little more sacks. I would agree.
At least 4 or 5, within
but here's the
that
thing.
time period.
I would agree if they played him like Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
They don't Minkah doesn't blitz often. The only time he really blitzes is when it's like 3rd and long, 4th and long type of thing.
And you're right, it's not his fault, but if they're making him the highest paid safety, I just want to see more of a complete all-around guy. And I think that's where the sacks come in. He doesn't have to be the sack leader, but I'd like to see something in the sack column that just kind of give him the overall complete package.
So you just want 1 or 2 sacks a year type of thing. You just want 1 or 2 sacks. Okay.
Just something to give him that overall complete look when you're making him the highest paid guy at that position in the league. You want to see that overall, everything something should be in the column and not zeros.
No, I feel you, and I will say this. For me, it is, you know, and maybe it's just me, man, but I think, as a safety, if you get sacks, I personally don't care if you get sacks. To be honest,
Yeah.
only because that's the equivalent of being, oh yeah, my defensive end needs to get interceptions. That's not really like if you can get some, great, but that's not really your job, right? Like Minka's not there. He's there so if one of the corners get broken down, he's there to help with recovery. That's really it is to mitigate those long deep. That's really his job. That's it.
Yeah.
You know. So I do think he's a little overpaid. I'm not even gonna lie. I really do because I don't think he's a top echelon safety. Maybe it's just me though. You know, I don't personally. I would have given him 12 a year, maybe 13. I think 18 is yikes. You know, and 36 guaranteed. All right. You know, anytime you make somebody the highest paid player in NFL history, there's going to be a lot of pressure that comes with that.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. We're going to see whether or not he can handle it. It's going to be very interesting, though, because to be honest with you, man, like you said, bro, this Pittsburgh offense is going to be dog shit.
It is. It absolutely is. You
It's
know, Pride,
horrible.
I feel like there's two times in NFL you really have to prove yourself. One is to get the mega contract. And two, after you get the mega contract, is to prove the sons of bitches out there that you deserve the mega contract.
I'm with you. Because think about it.
Some people will do the first one, but a lot of times they don't ever do the second one.
And I don't mean to be that. I don't mean to bring up the Cowboys, but DeMarcus Lawrence,
bring him up. Shit.
Like DeMarcus Lawrence is a prime example of that, where he literally did everything he needed to do to get that big contract. He got it, and all of a sudden he was just chilling. Another one, Zeke.
I was about to say, I don't think Lawrence is the most perfect one because Lawrence did do something, but Zeke gave you damn near zero.
Even worse than
At
zero.
least I got something out of Lawrence. It may not have been the best, but I got something. I didn't get shit from Zeke other than a great hairstyle and a really nice nose ring. Okay, have a nice day.
I mean, I'm there with you. I do think like your first contract is the most important because not only do you have to prove to you that you deserve that contract, but then when you get it, you got to make sure that you can actually continue to go out there and prove like, hey, you guys didn't make a mistake. By the way, Ronald, what it do, baby? What it do, you stud?
Pride. The easy part for me is them getting the contract, right? There's no pressure. They just go out there, they play, they get the contract, everybody applauds. But for me, like I said, the hard part is showing that you deserve that money. Because I think once you get that money, like, you may feel good about yourself because you're like, hey, I'm high on the hog. I don't give a damn what people think. But you know what? If you really are a competitor, you give a damn about what people think about you. And there's got to be something inside you that says, you know what? They gave me all this damn money, and I'm dog shit.
Because think about it. As soon as you get paid, guess what? Now a lot of guys are going to start like keying in on you. And now what you're going to do?
Yeah, right. But how do you keep your head high walking through the locker room, knowing you got all this money, but you ain't giving them shit in return, and
easy.
People got to be looking at them sideways like, bruh.
Easy, no, easy. You know how easy it is to hold my head up high. Pretty damn easy when I'm walking to the bank. Shoot,
I get that.
Y'all can look at me any way y'all want.
If you're a competitor, and that's what I'm saying. If you're a competitor, you want that. Like if you're a Jordan, LeBron, I don't know. If you're I'm gonna use Kobe as a better example. If you're a Kobe or a Michael, they give a shit. Like they legitimately want to be the best all the time. And I love that about them. I really do.
To an extent. After going on a Kyrie Irving type sabbatical where he did not talk to anybody in the media, Deshaun Watson finally came out and he said, hey, I'm innocent. I apologize for everybody else and how they feel. He says he regrets the impact it's had on the Cleveland Browns and his family, all this stuff. Now, what he says comes across as him being genuine, comes across as such. So here's my question to you. After hearing that, after hearing him coming out and then basically being the first time that you actually hear him defending himself, which has been one of the biggest knocks that people have had on him ever since this entire thing began, that he just wasn't addressing anybody. Now that he's addressing it, should this make him look a little better, not only to the fans, but to Roger Goodell and the NFL office? And should this change the NFL's approach on handling, and not only handling, but I think he's going to get suspended regardless. But Deshaun Watson finally coming out, do you think that's going to kind of soften the blow on him a little bit?
This may be a weird answer, but Deshaun Watson, you said he's genuine, but I don't think he is, and I'm going to tell you why.
No, I just said he came up.
No,
I don't know if he is or not.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I get that. But here's the thing. To be really genuine, you have to show accountability or show concern for the other party that was involved and not just the people around you. You know, so if Deshaun Watson comes out and says, hey, for the 66 women out there and the 24, now soon to be 26 women that felt they needed to file the lawsuit because they felt a certain kind of way by my actions, I want to say I deeply feel bad for what you're going through. Things of that nature. Okay, then yeah, I'm on the genuine train with you. But the problem with that is if he does that, then it puts him in a light that now he's taking responsibility for now it probably is. It's almost like he's having to almost admitting guilt if he shows concern for those other people, because now, okay, maybe now it opens the door. Well, was there something to it? So it's almost like his legal team is saying, hey, Deshaun, go out there, say some sorries to the people around you, whatever. Just don't mention the 24 women or the 66 women. Leave them out of the equation, because if you say something about being sorry for what they're going through and things of that nature, now you're kind of opening up the door to open up, to make you look culpable for those actions. Mm-hmm. And that's why for him to be truly genuine, it would almost backfire on him.
I honestly, this entire Deshaun Watson thing is weird. And the reason it's weird is because both sides, and I'm gonna catch some hate for this, but take this ride with me.
Yeah.
Both sides have been lying and telling the truth at the same time.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've never been in a situation where I can look at Deshaun Watson and go, you're lying, but you're telling the truth. And the same thing with all, because here's the thing. For the females who are coming at him, everyone keeps saying there's evidence, right? And everyone keeps saying there's a whole bunch of evidence. And then here's the question I've been posing since the beginning, and no one has been able to answer this. If there truly is this much evidence, why is it that two grand juries threw the case out?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like,
No, you know damn good well there's no evidence, because you're not going through court 20 at that time 22 times and there not be evidence. Come on, there's no damn evidence. There's no evidence.
That's what I'm saying. Like the people, like the females are saying, oh, and this is one of the instances where I say, and this I've been consistent with this, and this is coming from a dude who's been accused of this. Okay, when I went through this, the only reason Shorty said I did it was because her man found out that her and I, did a little freaky. And instead of her going up to him and saying, yeah, I messed up, she then tried to imply, and then later just went to the cops and said that I did it. Lucky for me, we were at a party, and there was 99.999 million trillion quadrupillion people there who not only saw us the entire night, who saw us up on each other. And this was a house party. House party. So it's not like random people. Like, my cousin was hosting it, and it was like everyone knew everyone. Like, we all knew each other somehow. Right. So, like, when you go through something like that where she says, oh yeah, he raped me, and literally you get questioned, and then 2 days later you get a call and they go, yeah, by the way, everything got dropped. Turns out they labeled it as a miscommunication. That's how it was labeled, right?
Yeah.
And when you're a guy who goes through that, every time I hear that a woman accused a man of this, I'm not saying that she's lying, but based on my experience, I just kind of go, I'm right in the middle line. I'm right in the middle line. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not doing none of that. I'm right in this middle line, and we finna figure out what's really going on. That's it. We gonna figure out one way or another. We're gonna know. We might not know all the truth, but we'll know enough to at least determine whether or not he basically did this. We'll be able to figure that, you know, as time goes on, we'll be able to figure that out. Now, we won't be able to figure out if he did it to all 66 women. We won't know. That we won't know. But we'll probably know for about 35 to 40 of them. We'll be able to figure out whether or not he did anything.
You know what's interesting to me, Pride, is so first we go to 22 cases, no evidence. Because let's be honest, like we said, if there's really truly evidence there, he ain't walking away from us. And we know damn good well fact there ain't no damn evidence. Mm-hmm. So the first 22 go through the pipeline, and he's exonerated, acquitted, whatever.
Right.
And now he's just dealing with the civil lawsuit side of things, what have you. Now we get the next 4 coming out of the woodworks, trying to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And my thought process is as such. It's been over 2 years or whatever the case has been since, these events happened. Do you really think there's any evidence that those 4 have that the 22 didn't? No. Because I don't care what I don't look unless she's storing
video. No, I'm the only way. And this is me. If it's been 2 years, the only way I'm coming out is if I got a video or some saved text messages or something where when he basically admits it. That's the only way I'm coming out, because.
But even unless there's audio in there, I mean, videos can be some kind of subjective too.
Right. Video with audio.
I guess the graphic nature of the video or the audio of the video, what have you. But I'm just saying, from a physical, because he said, okay, look, I made me grab it, but he said he ejaculated on her chest and on her face. Now, I don't know if on her, you got to imagine there's clothes there, so it's got to be some of it on her clothes. Unless she's storing it up, you got to believe that there's really no true evidence. I'm going to say it out loud. There's no real damn evidence in these next 4 either. I honestly think Deshaun Watson will be acquitted on the next 4. I'm going to call it right now, hot take. I'll guarantee, I bet you he gets acquitted on the next 4. And the only thing he's going to have to deal with are 2 things. Number 1, the civil lawsuit side of life. And then number 2, how many games Roger Goodell is going to suspend him. So if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm thinking okay, we're going to hedge our bets whether we void his contract based on Deshaun Watson's, outcome, and then what Goodell gives him in terms of a suspension. Now, where it gets getting interesting is if you give Calvin Ridley betting 1 year on football, a year suspension, and you give Josh Gordon an indefinite suspension on a little bit of marijuana, what the hell are you going to give Deshaun Watson on 24 cases, 66 altogether, whatever?
If he's guilty of at least one, that people are going to want at the bare minimum 2 years, and there's people going to want the extreme, and they're going to want to try to get him out for life. Which, I don't. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about any punishment on no one until we figure something out. Until we figure out. No, but what I'm saying is he can walk away.
He can walk away from the criminal side and be fine. I just wonder how the NFL side, in terms of Goodell, how he's going to react to it. And you got to imagine, like I said, if Calvin really gets caught betting, not put in jail, but just get on betting, he's out a year. And then if you pop positive on drugs, you're out, a year or whatever, whatever. Then what the hell is all these cases? What is Goodell how is he going to levy this? And like you said, I got to imagine he gets at least, if we're being fair to Josh Gordon, if we're being fair to the Calvin Ridleys and whatever.
It's not even being fair to Josh Gordon and Calvin Ridley.
Well, I mean, in terms of punishment, you know what I'm saying?
Law. No, I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from, but my thing is, homeboy, not only did he break the law, but if he ends up being found guilty and having to, with the civil lawsuit, it's like, if they had enough evidence to say, yeah, you done did it, homie, you gonna have to be out a bare minimum 2 years. That's just me. I want to touch on a couple of the comments real quick. Damian Hernandez says, "Yeah, I do realize the justice always looks the other way once they get paid under the table. Come on now." The problem with your statement is that the grand jury happened before Deshaun Watson got paid all this money. That's all I'm saying.
So if he gets suspended 2 years, tacked on to the 2 that he's already missed or coming close to 2 years.
No. If he gets suspended 2 years, Cleveland's voiding that contract.
Oh, yeah, you know they're going to void it, but then where does he go from there? Is he going to be, pretty much just – is anybody even going to give him a flyer?
No way. No. With all that baggage, I don't think so.
I don't know, man. They gave Michael Vick a flyer. You don't think they gave him a flyer?
That's different, bro. That's that. And the only reason why I believe that's different is because the dogfighting was at his house, and you can make an argument that he didn't really know what was going on because he wasn't involved. He kind of just hosted it. So you can make but
Pride, let's go even one further. Even Ray Rice was allowed to come back, but nobody wanted him on their team.
No, Ray. Well, yeah, he was in. I think Deshaun.
That said you can come back, but nobody wanted to give him a job.
But I think that's where Deshaun Watson is going to end up, where the NFL will be like, look,
Ray Rice. He's going to be Ray Rice.
Exactly. You serve suspension. If you want to come back, you can. And he's going to go, oh, yeah, I'm ready. And they're going to go, yeah, right. And no one's going to want to touch him. By the way, another one. Because Yuki says, Pride, the masseuse asked him if they wanted shit to record it. He said no. This does not mean you're guilty. Just because he didn't want to record it doesn't mean that he's necessarily guilty. There's just some people who just don't want it to be recorded.
I do want to point out that there was 15 therapists that actually came out in support of Deshaun. So there were at least 15 females that did come out and support him. So
right.
I don't know, man. It's such a mess.
Damien says, I believe he's guilty. Fuck that. There's 66 women. There's no way in hell he's innocent. Just look at Bill Cosby. He has so many victims piling up, and there are still more victims out there. Yeah, but the difference is between what Bill Cosby was doing and what Deshaun Watson was doing is that multiple people knew Bill Cosby was doing this. Henceforth, when he ended up going up to trial, multiple people were able to come out and say, yeah, he's been doing it. And this instance with Deshaun Watson, if for every individual instance, it's just a he said, she said. And this is something that's very important to bring up. Nobody was licensed. These are just, in essence, Instagram chicks that he's kind of just picking up.
That were giving him the massages?
Yes. These are professional masseuses. These are professional masseuses, which again has to come down on Deshaun Watson, because you're dumb. You're dumb. Why are you gonna go to Instagram when you have a facility that provides that? They provide that, and they provide it as a person who is 100% licensed.
And that's my thought. If I'm an athlete and I know I'm a famous athlete and I know I got some money to my name, I'm not doing anything where I can be compromised, especially a hotel. Yeah, you will meet me at the facility, and I want video cameras. I want maybe a couple of witnesses in there. I mean, I'm doing some shit to protect my ass.
I'm not. You want to know what I'm doing? You really want to know what I'm doing?
No, you're going to the dollar by the hour hotel. I get it.
No. Perhaps. But what I'm doing, I'm not going on Instagram for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to my facility. You want to know what? Because if I go to my facility, guess what? I know for a fact I ain't doing nothing dumb. Because guess who's gonna be touching up on me? A 66-year-old lady whose pussy's dust. So I'm good. I know I'm good. She can touch me all she wants, and I know it won't get hard. I'm good, Deshaun. I'm good.
You know,
he got to wear this, though. He got to wear that. Listen, regardless of if he's innocent or not, there's unfortunately going to be a bad stigma around him.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, he's going to have to wear it. He's going to have to. Because if you put yourself in that situation, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what?
Right.
Like, I've never in my life say, "Oh yeah, let's go get a masseuse from Instagram." Like, bro, what are we doing? Damien says, "My question is, what's his family thinking about all this, especially his wife and kids? I could imagine there's a lot of teachers in the household. I don't think he has kids.
Is he married? I didn't think he was married.
He's not married, but he does have a girl.
Well, you know, she's probably all up in his business right now.
Well, but here's the thing:
Or maybe she don't care because maybe she's on the ride for the money. I don't know.
But well, I don't know that, but maybe she's one of those chicks that was going to ride with her guy regardless. Because while during these accusations, he was at a club with her for her birthday, and they were partying up, and they didn't look completely unfazed.
Yeah. You know, I figure there's two things that's going to hurt Deshaun, though. If I'm Deshaun, there's two things that would hurt me. Number one, I'm not going to get the endorsement deals that I really, would covet. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money right there you just threw away. Mm-hmm. And then number two, I feel like as I get older, when I do have children, you don't think they're ever going to see all these memes and all these things about their father and things like that? To me, that's just, it's a personal hit. But, I'd be, really embarrassed for my kids to read and see this. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, I'm also losing endorsement dollars. So there's a lot of things that, outside of all of this that are going to affect Deshaun going forward, regardless of whether he plays football again, regardless of the outcome. The stigma is there. The tabloids are out, and his kids will see this at some point if he has them.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm listen. Regardless, like I said, regardless if he's innocent or not, Deshaun, you putting yourself in that awkward situation, bro. People are gonna look at you funny. Yuki goes, his girlfriend is thick. No, listen, his girlfriend, she's very attractive. I'm not gonna lie, she's very attractive, right? But again, I don't know. And yes, and thank you for bringing this up. Rumor has it that the Houston Texans were initially involved in this in the beginning, in terms of paying for the hotels, even hosting it in their facilities at times. So, but you know what the Texans are gonna do? You want to know what the Texans are gonna do? Real quiet, they're gonna pay them off and just say, "Shut up, shut the fuck up, go back to Sean, shut the fuck up." That's what the Texans are gonna do. The Texans are gonna get them the money.
I agree.
They're gonna shut up the money.
Exactly what they're gonna do.
They're gonna shut the money to move on from it, so that way they can keep it. They can keep that on the low. That's what they're gonna do. But next topic, I want to talk about Bradley Beal. Remember, he went to the Wizards and asked for a trade. There's a two-parter for you. First of all, who should make obviously, the Portland Trailblazers are rumored to be extremely interested. So that way they can get Bradley Beal and bring in Zach LaVine. So that way they can have their own guard-heavy big three. But outside of the Trailblazers, what teams do you think should make a push for Bradley Beal? And do you think the Washington Wizards can make a couple moves themselves to try to bring Bradley Beal back to the team next year?
Man. Yeah, well, Bradley Beal's 28, so he still has a little bit of tread left on his tires. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're at a point now, if I'm Washington, I probably am looking for picks because I don't know if I'm going to be able to build this team around him in time to really be truly competitive, to take advantage of his prime years. So maybe I'm looking for picks at this point and rebuild. So it wouldn't be bad for Washington either. And then for Beal, on that same side of the coin, I think damn, I'm 28. I'm looking at Washington. I'm probably not going to go anywhere with these guys. Am I just going to sit here, collect the money, and just ride into the sunset? Or am I going to become competitive and go to someplace that is competitive? So now and I really believe it's going to be the competitive nature. That's why he wants out. Because I'm pretty sure he'd get the max right there at Washington if it was really about the money. So he's got to be looking at competitive teams that can bring him in. So then you're thinking, okay, who's competitive that I can go to and make a damn difference? I can tell you right now, I'm thinking one or two teams that I think would be really, really good for him. If you let go of Brunson, I think you bring in Bradley Beal and put him with Dallas and team him up with Doncic. If you don't want to go with Doncic, then you team him up with Joker and put him in that direction. So because I think I saw some trades with Denver, at least some rumored trades or trades that we'd like to see happen. So I think him and Joker would be phenomenal. Could you imagine that lineup? Oh. Mm. But I think those will probably be my two teams.
Okay. All right. So before I throw mines out, I want to kind of look at what some people are saying in the comments. Beal to Dallas or Denver. I think those are two teams you said, right, Jay?
Yeah, Dallas and Denver.
Which again, I think both do make some sense. I really do. Chicago, Philly, Miami. I do not think Miami. However, Chicago, I think that's legit if you can kind of do a situation where like the signing trade where you get you send Zach LaVine over to Washington. I think perhaps, but again, it'll be a little awkward because Zach LaVine is going to basically want to basically sign it and accept that trade. So God knows Philly, depending on what happened with James Harden, maybe.
And the thing about Bradley Beal is he can play the shooting guard or the small forward. So there's really flexibility with him where you put him on the roster, right? Which I think makes him a little bit more attractive. I think Zach LaVine, he's been rumored to say that he's going to re-sign back with the Bulls. I don't know. I don't think they're going to let go of Zach LaVine. So I definitely think Philly, if depending on how they feel about Harden, I think Philly would be a good spot to team him up with Joel Embiid for sure. But I think Philly would work. Like I said, Utah or Denver, man. I mean, oh yeah.
Maybe Memphis. I'm gonna say no to Memphis only because I already like what they got. There's no point in really changing anything. You got a whole bunch of nice young guys, so I would keep them as it's going.
Yeah, you already got that good chemistry working.
Exactly. So I wouldn't move in. I wouldn't do. If I'm Memphis, I wouldn't be in there.
That's the place where you got to keep growing and developing. You already got the pieces. You just got to keep growing and develop. If Memphis needed anything, it would be a center, because I don't think Adams is the answer. So I think maybe you're looking at the center position, but that's about it.
And if I'm going for the center position, I'm not going for a veteran. I'm going for a guy like DeAndre Ayton. I want to get a young guy too. I don't want. I'm not gonna get a Karl Anthony Towns like that. AP says Bill's gonna leave and John Wall's coming back to Washington. That's my hot take.
Hey, you can have his ass. You've been waiting to unload that motherfucker. So go ahead, please, for the love of God.
That's brave, brother. That's a brave one right there, brother. And then he decides to one up himself. Hear me out. Clay gets traded and Bill comes to the Warriors. No,
man. Come on. They're not letting go of the Dubs. They're gonna ride that train until the wheel falls completely off.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna.
And plus, you know what? I think Clay in year 2, man, after post surgery, I think that's gonna be the telltale sign. I think really of where they go. Obviously, if they win the championship, I don't think they break up that team, and I don't think Clay's asking for a lot of money either. So he's more cap friendly probably than Bill would be anyway.
Right. So yeah, I don't think so. The Cleveland Cavaliers or the Brooklyn Nets. The only way out, if I'm the Nets, I would consider it is if Kyrie opts out. But even then, I would heavily kind of look elsewhere, only because the Nets need inside guys. That's what they need. So but if you want to, okay, Cavaliers, same thing. I mean, maybe the Cavaliers. I think maybe the Cavs. He said, Beal said he wants to play in Philly. So I could see that happening. Right, but the thing is, you're not going to have James Harden and Bradley Beal out there. I think that
and let's be honest, Harden is Daryl Morey's boy. Yep. He loves Harden. So Harden can write his ticket as long as he wants it. Morey ain't going to let his ass go. Mm-hmm. Hell, when they let Harden go from Houston, Daryl Morey was out the door too. So that just kind of tells you, how he feels about Harden. So, but again, Dallas, if he plays a small forward, Dallas was not that damn far off from the finals, and I think you take out Brunson and you insert Beal, that's automatically an upgrade right there. Plus, he can play the small forward, so if Bullock needs help, he can also, go that direction too. So he's so versatile that what he can give Dallas might be just enough to get him to the next level.
Right.
And I think that's what he really wants, is because if he didn't want to get to the next level, he would be taking that. He'd be taking the max at Washington.
Right. What about Boston having a big three? No.
They already got a kind of a big three. I guess you want to put Smart in it. I don't know.
Right. Either that or you can just call it a 1-2 because we still have a very great team all around. So
bro, you can't look past Smart. I love Smart. Yeah, he's defensive. He gives you points. I just want him to be more consistent with his shooting. But other than that, I like Smart. I think Smart. Hell, I'll take Smart. Shit. Oh, by the way, let me ask you a question, Pride, because this is your team, and I want to see if you know. This is trivia night for Pride. If you don't know,
okay.
Let's see how much of a Celtics fan Pride is.
Probably not.
Why is Marcus Smart hair dyed green?
Oh, his mom.
Bing, bing. Good answer. Okay, you know what? That's what makes you a Celtics fan. If I asked any question about the Rams to Freddie, it would be, I don't know, shit.
I believe his mother had passed away, and green was.
He did, but she always wanted to see him in green.
In green, and because that was his favorite color, so that's why he's been dyeing it, on this run as kind of like a memorial or memorandum to. So So yeah,
but that was a cool story because I honestly thought he was doing it to match the uniform, which makes sense. But then when I saw the article and I read the article, I was like, man, that was so not what I was thinking. Okay.
I thought the same thing too. But then somebody, they were doing a I remembered, I was like, because Marcus Smart, he was doing like a A&M, like on Twitter, kind of like, you know, asking, like, you know, kind of, we went live, people asked a question, and someone had asked him something about his mother, and then he kind of let it slip that his mom's favorite color was green. So as someone else commented, they had asked him something along the lines of, so was she excited when you got drafted to beat Boston? He was like, yeah. He was like, and it wasn't even because of the team. She just wanted to see me in green or whatever. And he said that's when he started growing his hair out. He said that's when he started growing his hair out. And because people forget, in Oklahoma, short hair. When he came in the league, short hair. Then he started growing it out. And then when he grew it out, you know, that's when he was like, you know what? Yeah, I should. So, but yeah, that's why he has it. Yeah,
you know what's interesting about the Celtics is even if they, you know, honestly, even if they don't get the championship this year. And that's not that I'm saying anything that you don't know, but that team is so damn young and that coaching staff is so good that you got to believe that, you know, they're coming back. At some level, they're coming back because that team, I really still think they got to work down on that center. And, you know, I mean, not that I'm counting Williams out, but that team is just so young and so competitive. I mean, they got lots and lots of time to figure this out.
By the way, I want to dye my hair. Go do it. I tell people all the time, bro. Have fun with your hair before you lose it. Besides, Melo wants to go back to New York. Who gives a shit? Melo's going through a problem where he still swear he's prime Melo. He's an idiot. So who gives a shit? Go ahead. Go a shitty player going to a shitty franchise. What a perfect fairy tale ending. But speaking of Boston, final topic. Down 3-2. Do you think it's possible for the Celtics to win 2 in a row to win the NBA Finals?
You know, if you believe in patterns, you know, Golden State's gotten back-to-backs, but Boston just has not been able to do that. Mm-hmm. And hey, like I said, man, you know, hellified Boston team. It really is a good Boston team, man. It's just, I just think this is just another year for Golden State, and they are so good that it's gonna take a monumental effort on the Celtics' behalf, right, night in and night out for the next 2 games. I mean, everybody's going to have to be damn near perfect. There's not going to be a lot of room for error in either one of those 2 games. I think they could take Game 6? Yeah. But to come back and try to win it in Golden State on Game 7, I think Golden State, you know, is going to come out like tore it on fire. And I just think to try to get 2 wins out of 2 games back, that's too much to ask for a lot of teams. And I just don't know that the Celtics have enough in the tank to be able to do 2 perfect games back to back. Damn sure you know the turnovers and points to the paint have got to be in the Celtics' favor. Those 2, and the bench can't have just 10 points and 1 in the first half. So, I mean, all that stuff has got to be on point. I mean, Williams off the bench has to be on point. Tice has to be, you know, if he comes in the game, has to be on, you know, a lot of those guys have to be on point, man. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a tall time. I'll tell you this, Pride. If that shit happens, man, I'll shave my own damn head. And that's a fact. And you can timestamp that shit. If they win, you can timestamp that. I'll make that. I know we said that if the Celtics lose the series, you'll shave. If Golden State loses the series, I'll shave. And we'll just call it a day.
I bet.
Timestamp in the books.
So, because I like your argument about
And I love my hair, by the way, so it means a lot to me because I don't have a lot of it.
So because you're talking about pattern, right? You're talking about pattern.
Yeah.
In round 1, we won 4 games in a row. Okay, we won 4 games in a row. Okay. In the Milwaukee series, we were down 3-2. We won the final 2 games in a row. Right or wrong?
I'm going to say right with an asterisk.
What's the asterisk? That Chris Middleton wasn't there?
Well, no, the asterisk is 2 reasons. Number 1, Brooklyn was in a complete disarray from the beginning. So that whole
No,
I'm not saying. No, time out now.
I'm not letting you get away with that.
I'm not saying that's your problem, but at the same time, I don't take that. I don't take that. What I'm saying is I don't take the Brooklyn series seriously. I don't take that series seriously. Now I do take. I do take the Bucks series.
Nope, I'm not letting you get away with this because the same people
No, that's fine. It's cool.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about for the Brooklyn. I cannot take that take seriously, and I'm gonna tell you why. The same people who say that are the same people that if Brooklyn would have beat Boston, would have been the same people thumping their chest saying you got to break up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. These are the same people who had Brooklyn favored to beat Boston. Those are the same people.
I wasn't one of those people. Right, I wasn't one of those people.
I'm just saying, we held Kevin Durant scoreless for like what, 3 quarters? Or 3, it was the second half. Yeah, it was the second half we held him scoreless, and I think it was game 3. There was 1 quarter we held him scoreless. One of, if not the greatest scorer of our generation.
Well, as you know how Frankie feels about KD.
Well, he,
but hey, we can go down that KD route. I mean, look, let's be honest. KD leaves the Golden State Warriors, and he ain't sniffing the finals ever. And last time I checked, given the 2 years of injury, so you really can't take those, into account because there's injuries all over the place at Golden State. But once that team was, fully healthy again with Mitchell Wiggins, now we're damn near what, 1 game away? Or I'm not saying we because I'm a Rockets fan. I don't want to hear it. You already said we caught them. I know, man. It's gonna be time stamped. I'll be living this one down for purgatory forever. But no, they are 1 game away from being champions again. So again, how relevant was Kevin Durant really needed for them? And look what he gave to Brooklyn. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not trying. I don't want to take anything away from your team, but at the same time, I think your path to the finals, it wasn't that hard. Except for, and then you go against Miami. Oh, time out now. Then you go up against Miami, which, and most people were thinking. If you want to say, let me finish. Almost done.
No, I mean, you can put on that Miami one because I have no problem.
Time out now. But you got to admit, a lot of us, I'll tell you, a lot of us thought that the Celtics should have shellacked Miami.
100%.
Wait, I mean, you guys should have shellacked them. And the fact that they gave you, and the fact that you got it literally was 6 inches on the baseline, which took that negated 3 away from them. I mean, I'm just saying, it was so freaking micro close that you guys even got to the finals. And I'm not trying to take away from the Celtics because, like I said to you earlier,
it doesn't matter how micro close it was, though, because at the end of the day, they still lost, so it doesn't matter.
I get it. Hey, listen, I'm wishing that bandstand a win is a win, a loss is a loss. I get it.
I don't want to hear nothing about Brooklyn because every single game, they were favored to beat us. They were the betting favorite to not only come out of the East, they were tied with Milwaukee to come out of the East, and also were tied with Milwaukee to win the championship.
But let me ask you this: how many games did Milwaukee go with you guys? Was it 6 or was it 7?
7.
It was 7, right?
7.
What would? And I'm just asking a question. I don't like hypotheticals as like anybody else, but I'm just saying Middleton does account for quite a lot on that team, on the defensive side and so forth. With the healthy Middleton, where would Milwaukee have gotten? And I know you can say, well, he's not there.
Losing in 7, it doesn't matter. Losing in 7.
But what I'm saying though is they haven't faced a fully team like the Golden State Warriors, man. The Golden State Warriors are, I mean, come on, man. They're battle tested, they're experienced.
Wait a minute. Time out. Wait a minute. You're doing a complete 180.
No, what's the 180 I'm doing?
Before the finals, you said that Boston had the most battle tested path to the finals. Now all of a sudden you're going to pretend. You're going to pretend.
No, they have had the most battle tested because I agree with you. No. Honestly, was it the? Oh, time out now. Hold on. I don't want you to think I'm not saying that.
Up against who did they play the first round? What was it? The Nuggets? Oh, I'm sorry, the Denver Jokic's, because it was just him or
bust. No, it was, and I agree with you. I'm saying you guys have had it battle tested. Milwaukee gave you, in my opinion, the battle test. I don't think Brooklyn necessarily battle tested you. But come on, they didn't battle test you.
You had Brooklyn beating Boston. So okay, but I'm saying
the Brooklyn's in the pudding, though, right? Okay, watch it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who people had what. The fact that you went through Brooklyn, the way you went through Brooklyn wasn't really a battle testament on their side.
No, it was. It was. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you had Brooklyn winning.
When did I ever say Brooklyn was going to win that? I know I had Milwaukee. No, I had Milwaukee winning. I'm going to tell you that right now. I had Milwaukee win that series. I'll take that one.
Fine. I'll be nice.
I never said Brooklyn.
It's fine. I'll be nice. Let's throw Brooklyn away because you actually walked into another trap. Because you picked Milwaukee after you found out about the injury to Chris Middleton, right?
I actually picked Milwaukee all the way to Game 7. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be honest with you. All the way to Game 7, I was telling you that Milwaukee was still gonna win it, and you know that, and I know that.
That's what I'm saying. You started picking Milwaukee before or after it was even after Chris Middleton.
Well, I had Milwaukee at the beginning of I had Milwaukee in the finals for crying out loud.
That's what I'm saying. You thought that Milwaukee without Chris Middleton, who's so special, is a third option at best on that team. If anyone really watches it, he's a third option at best because he's so horrible at being a second option. They had to go get him Drew Holiday.
But that did work out well for them, though.
Who?
Having Drew Holiday and Middleton with Giannis.
It was Drew Holiday. Because even when Drew Holiday was playing awful, guess what? He's still getting double teamed more than Chris Middleton.
Well, that's true.
Not even close. He's getting obviously Giannis is getting double teamed the most. Obviously.
But I think that's where the third option came nice because when they were getting double teamed, Chris was there and Chris did a good job. You can't say Chris didn't do a good job.
He did, and he did so much of a good job that he had to watch him on the bench. Bozo.
Well, he was hurt for crying out loud. Damn it, Pride. What the
heck? So who cares?
I love it, Pride. I love your man. Hey, listen.
I'm just saying.
Hey, listen. I'm going to lose this argument 2 times out of Sundays. Let's be honest.
Jokic has been dragging a roster by himself, and very few want to give him the excuse of injuries. Very few want to give him that benefit of the doubt.
I do give him the benefit of the doubt because I did say I felt like had they had Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray, this Nuggets team would be phenomenal. But they don't have. Matter of fact, because they didn't have him, that's why I said he's the MVP because of what he performed and how he's done. So I get that. I get it.
That's all I'm saying.
Freaking Joker, man.
Back to Boston. Look, I think Boston can, right? And originally I said I don't know if we could, but fuck it, why not? Might as well just flip it. Why not? Who cares? I think we can. I really do. And I think going into excuse me, I think going into Boston with this, I think helps a lot. I really do. I also do believe the fact that we've shown throughout the entire playoffs we can win back-to-back games. We've shown that ability.
Well, you've shown it in the Eastern Conference, but you haven't shown it in the Western.
Okay, and?
No, that's a big and. That's a big and.
How?
Because you're in the finals. You haven't shown the back-to-back in the finals. You've shown it in the Eastern Conference, but you have not.
We haven't shown it in the finals because this is our first time there since 2010.
No, I'm talking about past finals. I'm just saying in this finals, you have not had back-to-back wins.
And neither did Golden State until Game 5.
But they had it.
But nobody was saying they could do it until Game 5.
I just think the effort that you're going to have to put out. Do you think that Chicago? Do you think that Boston has the mental fortitude to do that?
Because mental fortitude.
For real, Pride. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Has Jason Tatum really shown up enough to give you back-to-back good games like that? I'm just asking for a friend. I don't think he has.
Okay, and that's cute. That's adorable because guess what? We still got other guys who can do it. So what are we talking about at this point?
Okay, you got Jaylen Brown, which is your next best, which actually in some cases, Jaylen Brown has done a better performance in some of those games than Tatum did. I'll give you that.
And then in between, when you need those spurts, guess who else gives it to us? Al Horford has been giving it to us. And Al
Horford has had very dismal games, just like Draymond. I remember Al Horford had 2 points in a game.
I'm talking about, and what about game 1 when he dropped 26? Tell the full story.
Okay,
don't just nitpick one game. Don't just nitpick one game.
No, but what I'm saying to you What I'm saying is in game 6 and game 7, Horford can't do that. Horford's got to give you night in, night out, damn near spectacular performances.
No, he doesn't.
He's going to pull an inner
Game 3,
Game
3, he didn't give anything spectacular. Game 3, he didn't give anything spectacular, and we won. So I'm not saying he's got to give spectacular. I'm just saying we got 2 guys who could take a game over, and then we have multiple guys who can go on spurts. So when they need a rest, we got guys who can go on spurts. We got the Marcus Smarts of the world. And if you want to say Al Horford, fine. Don't say Al Horford. Robert Williams. That's another dude who's been cleaning up the glass, getting offensive boards like crazy, and been having a block party like crazy. That's another guy.
That Robert Woods doesn't go down with injury too.
And that's fine. And that's fine because even injured, he's getting like 4 blocks a game. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about 2 games of spectacular basketball.
And I've seen this team do it. I've seen this team do it 2 times in a row, back to back against Milwaukee, and we've seen them do it 2 games in a row, back to back against the Miami Heat.
Well, I guess for your barber's sake, let's hope so.
I'm just saying. No, this is all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, for that beautiful, sexy, dark locks, let's hope so.
This is all I'm saying. For the love of God, tell the full story. That's all I ask. Because what you're trying to do is you go and you just mention, oh yeah, look what he did this way, and then you're not trying to pretend that's how he's been. I'm just saying, there's been multiple guys who, when we need them to, have stepped up. They've stepped up.
We're going to need them 2 more times,
and that's fine.
I don't know. Consistency though is a problem for you guys sometimes.
You're talking about consistency from a Golden State team that outside the set's been playing average at best,
right? Don't get emotional.
Your
team's inconsistent.
You gotta tell the full story.
I'm telling the full story.
No, you're not, because what you're trying to do is trying to pretend that Boston's been the only inconsistent team. Golden State.
No, Golden State's had their inconsistencies, but Golden State's up 3-2. So they've been able to overcome their consistencies. There's no doubt in the game. That says something.
Because what does it say?
It says that you cannot afford to be inconsistent even one of those 2 games.
And neither can Golden State because last time.
No, actually they can. Golden State has 2 chances at it.
The last time we saw Game 7 in their home court, what happened? They took an L. The last time they were in their home court, Game 7, what happened? They lost by 4.
I get it. But the last 2 games, but they just came off a back-to-back, which means they got 1. They had to have gotten 1 in Boston and 1 in Golden State. Am I correct? Or were they both in Golden? Or were they both in Boston? Maybe I might be old. I might be whatever. The yeah, was the back-to-back? Was it both in Boston?
Oh yes. It was. You're talking about Game 3 and 4, right? When they played. Yeah. So it was game 1 and 2 was at Golden State. 3 and 4 was at Boston. So now we have 1 at Golden State. So Game 5 was at Golden State. Game 6.
No, Game already played Game 5. Game 5's already been played. That's why it's 3-2.
That's what I'm saying. Game 5 was at Golden State.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So they did win. You said they didn't win on their home court. The last game they played, they did win on their home court.
No, I'm talking about Game 7.
Well, yeah, Game 7 have been back on the home court, right? No, I got you.
We're winning Game 6, and then the last time at that they had a Game 7 on their court, they got beat so bad they had to tear down. They had to tear down the arena and move.
That's listen, fun fact. Hey, no, for real. Hey, listen, fun fact. So Mitchell Wiggins, which is Andrew Wiggins' father. If you know who Mitchell Wiggins is, he played on the Houston Rockets. And in 1986, Mitchell Wiggins was playing the Celtics. And that was the year that the Celtics did win, but we pushed them to Game 7. But Mitchell Wiggins played against the Celtics. And now you got his son, Andrew Wiggins, playing against the Celtics, and it's in Game 6. I just think that's pretty cool. To me, that's pretty cool. The pops and the dad are, both playing the Celtics. Different teams were playing the Celtics in the finals. It's pretty cool.
It's crazy.
What a time to be alive.
It really is crazy. It really is crazy. Really?
Just saying. I wish my dad was good at basketball, and I wish I was good at basketball. I would love to say, hey, Dad.
Shoot. Who are you telling?
Hey, Pride, I guarantee you one thing. If I got a basketball contract, I'm not carrying 3 pounds of weed in my car.
Montrezl Harrell, bro. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm gonna do like every other white person in the world. I'm gonna go find me somebody else and say, hey, I need you to do this now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have my sister get a hold of the person, and the person's gonna give the weed to my sister, and my sister's gonna leave it in my backyard underneath the dog kennel, and then I'll go out and get it later.
By the way, I will be going live, but it's gonna be with video games because I got a whole bunch of people that been want to play me for a while. So I will be going live. I'll plug the Facebook here in a minute, but look, this is all I'm saying, man. I think we can do it. I really do. Because like I said, by the way, did you hear what Magic Johnson had said? Boston Celtics. He was like, in my opinion, this is a must-win game for Boston in Game 6. I'm like, Magic, I love you, brother, but no shit.
It's like Captain Obvious.
Yeah, it's like if we lose, the finals is over. Like,
thank you for saying the obvious. Holy shit.
I love it, but you gotta fucking do better, bro. You gotta fucking do better. WT fucking.
Hey, well, the good thing about it is if Boston somehow is able to carry out this finals victory, it would be a beautiful thing that the Celtics would have more championships than the Lakers, and then Freddie and Frankie could just shut the hell up and eat it. So in one instance, hey, I could come out a winner on both sides of this. Golden State wins. Hey, Pride gets a haircut. Freaking Celtics win. Frankie and Freddie are going to have to eat shit because they don't have the most championships in the league. And either way, man, it's going to work out well. I'm just saying.
It's going to work out well for me and you. Follow us on Twitter at Prideful Takes. If there's any news you guys want to talk about, feel free to tag us. Catch us on Facebook at Prideful Takes and on YouTube at Prideful Takes. Visit our website, www.pridefultakes.com. We have every episode of the podcast available and also original articles. Check us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Prideful Takes Podcast. If you have an iPhone, just say, hey, Siri, play the Prideful Takes Podcast, and she'll take care of the rest. As always, go to www.fatco.com. Use this code Prideful Takes, get 50% off all your organic skincare needs. And I will be going live tonight. Facebook Gaming, Pride Gaming 22. Your boy's going to be playing some COD. So swing on by. Jay McLovin, appreciate you being here, my guy. You got any final words for the people?
Hey, again, man, I always love coming on here talking about Pride. You know, he's one of my guys. I really appreciate everything he brings to the world of podcasting. And he's my boy, and I love the chip head haircut. But come at the end, when they lose the series, guys, I want you. You know, you're not going to see that no more. You're going to see the more slimmer, more aerodynamic version of Pride. So I'm really looking forward to that. You can catch us Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 Eastern, and Saturdays at 8 Eastern on Unscripted under the ASAP Sports Network. And man, what a time to be alive! Pride, I love you, man. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Appreciate you being here, my guy. On behalf of Jay McLovin, it is your boy Pride. We're back here on Friday. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe.
Knew where that was going. That was a great read. Oh, Lillard from the logo. That'll quiet the 2 on the season. 2nd and 1 for the Bills. They handle the rush. Allen looking. End zone.
To Shohei Ohtani. Center field. Let's watch it go. Did several of those inside low kicks.